She's like, I've always envisioned getting married in a church. And what I told her is that we can build you a church, honey. We can build you pews. We can make you feel like you're in your own hyper modern church. Just trust me. And thankfully she did. And I'll show you images of how that landed in the end. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Statuesque Events YouTube channel. Here we like to showcase beautiful, modern, multicultural weddings and all the things that go with that. All right, I'm really excited about having you guys here for this decor review and rewind. We're going to be going over a beautiful red and white wedding that we designed for Paula and Antoine. This is a very special wedding for so many reasons. One, we're still friends. I'm still friends with this couple over 3 years later, but also just because their design style was so specific. They wanted to go super bold with red, and I loved it. And it was also just really fun just seeing the outcome and how everything came together. So I hope that you enjoy all the images and pictures and everything, videos from this wedding, and stay tuned for more, all right? So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because we've got so many more of these design reviews coming to keep you inspired and so much more coming down the pike, all right? Before we get too far down the line, I want to make sure I introduce myself. My name is Shola. I'm the owner of Statuesque Events. We're a wedding and event planning company based in the DC metro area, as you can see, Statuesque Events. We're based here in the DC metro area, but we do weddings all over. We've done weddings in Connecticut, Florida, Texas, and just about everywhere in between. We love producing beautiful, modern, multicultural weddings all around the US. Now, in addition to that, I'm a coach. I coach wedding and event planners. I coach others as well, but my flagship program is called Planners Who Profit, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I help experienced event planners level up their business and start to reach into the high-end and luxury markets, organize your system so that you can handle more clients, and overall just help you to make more money in your business. One of the elements of the program is helping you with your timelines and your design plans. So if you need help elevating your design plans, working through things with the client and all of that, we help you with that during the period that you're in the program. So if you want to learn more about working with us, either as your wedding planner or as your coach, all that information is in the description box. So make sure you visit it and shout out, reach out to me that way. Now for today, I'm really excited, like I said, to be going over Paula and Antoine's beautiful red and white design plan. It was really fun pulling this together from start to finish. Now we changed the colors a few times. At one point we were thinking a little bit of rose gold. At one point we were thinking a little bit of black, but in the end, we ended up settling on red and white and gold, and it was a beautiful thing to see pulled together. On the day of the mock-ups, it was so nice to see the bride, Paula's face just light up when she saw the mock-up of the tables, mock-up of, just how the flowers were going to look, the height of it and everything, and she was really excited to see it, and I was excited to see her be excited, so that was really, really good. Shout outs to Beau Decor, who we worked with on the decor and the florals for this day, and it was just an amazing production, even starting from the mock-up that we worked on together. Now, this wedding was a whole production for multiple reasons. Number one, Paula and Antoine really, really, really wanted to get married in a church, but unfortunately the church had some construction issues going on. Man, in this particular year, we had a lot of construction issues happening with venues. And because of that, we ended up having to move the ceremony, and we ended up having the ceremony in the same room that the reception took place. So we had to do a room flip. I remember Paula was a little frustrated about this because she's like, I've always envisioned getting married in a church. And what I told her is that we can build you a church, honey. We can build you pews. We can make you feel like you're in your own hyper modern church. Just trust me. And thankfully she did. And I'll show you images of how that landed in the end. The second thing that made the day a huge production is the fact that in addition to decorating the ceremony and the reception, they also wanted entryway decor, basically to build a tunnel leading to their wedding that would welcome people and already wow people from the beginning. So that was an extra element that most people don't have at weddings, which made it an even bigger production. So the team at Beau Decor, shout out to them. They were setting up all day long, and thankfully everything was done on time and we had a beautiful event. So first, I want to start with showing you a little bit of the behind the scenes. You can see there were millions of vases that were used for this production. You can see, the crew working behind the scenes to lay the flooring, right? Because we had a custom floor for this wedding. We wanted everything to be custom, so we had a custom floor for this wedding. We also had hanging things in that aisleway that I described. We had hanging flowers and everything. You can see the crew literally working hard, ladders, everything being pulled out to pull everything together. So I want to start with the ceremony. The ceremony was in a portion of the room and it was absolutely beautiful, covered in drapes, and everything was set up beautifully, right? Now for the ceremony, we wanted everything to be pure white, right? Like you can see when you look at the photos, the lighting was pure white. The floor, for the most part, was pure white. The stage was pure white, and so was the backdrop. The draping was white. So we went with, for the most part, pure white, which is a few pops of red on the stage and also a few pops of red on the pews that we built going down the aisle. Yes, we did eventually build this church for Paula. You can see the shiny pews going all the way down the aisle with flowers on top of them. It was really beautiful, and it made you feel like you were in a custom-made church just for her. And so it was just a beautiful sight to see. It was a very tearful ceremony. I still remember it. It was a very tearful ceremony, but it was so beautiful and heartfelt. And, you know, the emotions combined with the look just made the whole day. Now, after the ceremony was over and they jumped the broom and made their way out, we had less than an hour to flip the entire room and turn that ceremony into a reception, right? So at that point, it was all hands on deck to pull out all the tables and move the chairs to tables, you know, rearrange the tables around the room. And at this point, we exposed more of the dance floor, which was all rimmed in red. Right? So the dance floor was a custom printed dance floor, again, provided by the light source company, where all around the edges was red to match the design plan of the room, to match the stationery, both the invitations and the menu cards that were laid out. So that was super beautiful. When you look at the details in the menu cards, how everything was laid out, it was great. We also had these 2 estate tables that had mirrors on them. We had, you know, we just brought a lot of shininess through the mirrors on the table, lots of candles, tall centerpieces on the estate tables just to make it beautiful. One of the bride's favorite things that we had at the reception was the flower wall on the sweetheart table. So the altar ended up turning into the stage for the bride and groom. We added, for the reception only, the flower wall for the bride and groom with a custom sign on it, which they still have today. I video chatted them the other day and they still have it in their house that says The Good Life, which is a play on the groom's last name, which is good. And which is so beautiful just to see everything pulled together. And there were just candles everywhere. The chandeliers in the room just set everything off. And one thing I wanted to mention is that for the reception, I requested a slight lighting change. As you remember, we went with pure white for the ceremony, but I decided to go with amber for the reception, which kind of brought everything down. It cooled everything down a little bit and made it feel more reception-y, like okay, now we're stepping into an evening event, you know? And one of my favorite things listening to guests as they were coming into the reception is that they were like, man, this feels like a totally different space. And all of these changes, which were done in a very short time frame, just transformed the space and made it feel totally different. We also, of course, love seeing the bride's reaction. She was thrilled with the result. She was thrilled with seeing how everything turned around. And, you know, it's just one of those things. That just warms our hearts. Like people partied, they partied at this wedding, and it was just a really good time to see everyone enjoying the space. So this was like a really good design review for anyone who's like, oh man, is it possible to have a ceremony and reception in the same room? With the right team, the right design plan and everything, you absolutely can. It's something that we've done many times, and we enjoy doing. So once again, I want to say thanks so much to Paula and Antoine for allowing us to plan and design your wedding. And by the way, if you want to see more of the behind the scenes, more in depth of the people partying, hear interviews from Paula and Antoine about how the wedding planning experience was and all of that, we have 2 episodes dedicated to them in the Modern Multicultural Wedding Show series. All right. So we have one where they talk about how they met. They actually met at work. Yeah, we talk about how they met at work. We talk about how that went, you know, workplace romance turned wedding. We talked about that. We talked about how they felt going through the planning experience, what it was like when they were butting heads about certain things in the design and selections. So if you want to watch all that, head over to the Modern Multicultural Wedding Show to see more. But if you were just here for the design, I hope that you've enjoyed this. Like I really enjoyed going through this again with you and having you enjoy that. All right, so don't forget to subscribe, share this video with a friend who can use it, and I can't wait to see you again in the next video. All right, toodles and ciao.